Okay, great. So, welcome everyone to the Exact AI Framework Driving Advisor Growth. We're talking all about AI tools today, and you are all getting a firsthand sneak peek at the amazing new product updates we have in our FMG platform. Susan, I don't know about you. I think these are probably the thing I've been most excited about in
Yes.
years in terms
Yes.
of the platform and just how much it's going to change the ROI for people using the tools.
Couldn't agree more. This is huge.
So, just as a follow-up for everyone today who's joining, you are all going to get this amazing AI guide that our marketing team has been working to put together. It's not quite done yet, so it won't go out in the follow-up emails, but within the next week or so, you're all going to get it. So look out for that. Just for joining, you will get that awesome toolkit. And for those of you that are not familiar with FMG or not using it already, here are just some of the great awards we have won. We are an all-in-one marketing suite that allows you to manage everything from your website to your social media, your blog. And now we have some amazing AI tools to both help you create content as well as help you get found by people using AI. And if we've never had the pleasure of meeting, I'm Samantha Russell, our chief evangelist. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. And Susan Theater is our CMO. And please connect with her as well. All
Yes,
right,
please.
let's get into it. And the chat box is open. Let's all learn from each other there. And then the Q&A box is open if you have questions that you specifically want to ask just Susan and I. You don't want to ask everybody else. Okay. So the first thing that I wanted to go over was our agenda for today. We're really talking about three different things here. The first is really how you can use AI to help you create hyper-personalized content and what those tools look like that we've just released in the app. The second is when somebody is going to ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and asking for who's the best financial advisor, helping retirees in Milwaukee, or I'm looking for someone to help me create a succession plan for my business. Who should I work with? How do you get your business to be one of the ones recommended? And we are going to give you the inside scoop on what that looks like and how to do it. And then also, again, how FMG's tools will help you do that. So that is our agenda for the day. Lots to get through, so let's get started. So actually, I just realized I need to pull up the platform. So, let me stop sharing that one and pull up we're going to start with actually going right into our tool here. And Susan, do you want to maybe while I'm doing that, I don't know, it logged me back out, just talk about our latest release?
The latest release is we have three prongs to our AI strategy. We're launching, one is the ability, it's called MUSE, which is enabling you to leverage AI to write content, whether it be an email, social post, or blog within the platform. And we're going to show you that. Then we also, to make sure that we are making all the compliance teams happy, another branch of our AI strategy is Overwatch, which ensures that everything that you are writing, even if you're not using AI, is compliant. And it's amazing. We test it with all kinds of fun things, and it catches everything. It's not just like catching guarantee. It catches, you name it. We can even test it. And it even gives you recommendations as to how to fix things if they do find a problem. And then our third is Sidekick, which is designed to basically be a help desk on using our tool. So if you're in the platform and you want to ask a question, but also that is going to morph to being basically kind of like a Ask Sam and Susan on any kind of marketing question. So Sidekick, Muse, and Overwatch. Is that
Awesome.
okay?
Thank you for talking through that as I as I was pulling it up here, it logged me out. So yeah, so if you log into the platform, Sidekick is what Susan just mentioned, and it's really going to grow and morph over time to really just think about having a Sam or a Susan sitting at your desk and you can ask any marketing question you want. But the first one I thought we would start with today is really how to use AI to create hyper-personalized content at scale. So I'm going to just start by showing you our Muse tool. And you can go into the email tool. It's also available in social. And then later on, it's going to be rolled out for blogs as well.
next week, I think. And you
Okay,
know what? A good asterisk, if we have any FMG clients on the call, these features are available in our premium marketing product. So just getting that out there. If you're an existing customer, this is part of premium and you would see it. And for any prospects, again, this is part of, there's essential marketing and then premium, and this is all within the premium.
perfect. Thank you. So we're here in the email writing tool. We're just going to click Write with AI. And one of the things that I really, really want to talk about is, and a lot of you probably had this experience. Maybe you've just gone to ChatGPT and asked it to help you write an email, write a blog post, right? The output that you get is directly correlated to how good your input is. And we're still all learning how to what we call prompt engineer. How do we write a prompt that's actually going to deliver a good output? So I'd love to know in the chat, does anyone have any strategies that they've tried that they feel like really give them better outputs versus just, asking one question? But one of the things that our team has done to make it even easier is first you can select what the purpose is, just to give a little bit of more background context to the AI tool here. Are we trying to get someone to schedule a meeting? Are we trying to do a follow-up? Here we're going to say educational content. And
And I
then we
think
can
like
give
as a tip to anybody too, Sam, like
using any tool.
yeah, a prompt, even if you're prompting directly in chat, starting with what is your goal is really important. And a lot of people actually don't add that in. So, putting in the goal of this document, email, whatever it is X, and it's going to the target audience. Those two elements really helped with prompting. So we've kind of built that into our platform, but just as a tip.
Yes, I love that. So no matter what tool you're using, you want to start with the goal of this blog, this email, whatever it is. So I put that in there for all of you, but that's really what this is. So we've already added that in, but I just typed it up so you could see no matter what tool you're using. Okay, so we're going to say the goal of the email is to help clients feel better about recent market volatility and put their fears at ease. Anything else we should add in there, Susan?
I think that's good.
Let's start with that. So then my next favorite part is that there's 6 different writing styles. So we know for all of you, you have different ways you talk about things. Some of you are more professional. Some of you are, or I should say more buttoned up. Some are more,
Or formal.
informal.
Use the word formal, formal.
Formal, informal, right? So we see this every day, and our tool has been able to look at, tens of thousands of pieces of content, probably hundreds of thousands that have been sent out. And we came up with 6 different writing styles that through the back end, we've, come up with very specific inputs to our AI Muse tool so that it's giving the tool more background guidance on what we want that writing style to be. So let's choose the practical optimist for this one.
And I think a fun background story to this is, as we were trying to come up with the voices, we talked to a lot of advisors and, originally we were like, the advisor wants to find their voice in this. But what we found is just like all of us, we actually want our voice, but better. Like we want you to, like, we want AI to make us sound even better than we sound. So we've designed these based on what we heard advisors describing as what they wanted to sound like, partially their voice, but better.
Yes, I love that. Love that. So then you can choose if you want it to be short, medium, or long, and then we're just going to go ahead and generate the content. So our little sidekick friend here is telling us in real time what's happening. And then we can read it over here. It's also going to give us a subject line, even though we didn't ask for it, which I love. And then we can ask it to rewrite any section to add, to make it longer, to make it shorter, to rephrase it. And we could also just say, before we give it any feedback, let's just change the writing style and look at the difference. So this one starts with market ups and downs can feel unsettling, especially when headlines seem determined to keep us on our toes. So which one should we try instead, Susan?
Let's try the custodian.
Okay. So we're choosing a different writing style, and immediately we can see that that first line is completely different, as well as the subject line is completely different, right? So we can say, let's say we like this one, but maybe we want the opening line to be more friendly. We can say that. Okay, rewrite email, but make the opening line more friendly. and it will do that for us in real time. So it starts now with, it's completely normal to feel a bit uneasy. That's a little bit more my style, to resonate and be
Totally.
empathetic. But it might not be yours, right? So you can really, really in real time navigate this however you like. So let's say we like this email. Eventually, we're going to have the ability to just send directly from this tool coming soon. But for right now, it's not a big deal. You're just going to click this copy button right here. And then we are going to, in our email, paste it where the placeholder text normally is. So there we've got that. It's got hi, first name. It's going to pull in from whatever contacts or groups we're eventually going to send it to. This here would be, where it's pulling in from whatever you've got set up in your email builder for your image. But Susan, why don't we talk a little bit about our check for compliance button, and we'll see
Yeah.
how our email performed. And then maybe we can add something in that we think it might not pick up to get.
Yeah, we could even ask the audience to challenge us with, test the compliance tool out. Like, give us a sentence that you want us to add that you think might slip through, and see if we can
Yeah.
break it. And I also
So what,
one of somebody has mentioned in the chat, what is great, what we do hear from advisors, there's a little bit of anxiousness in using any of the public AI tools that, they aren't trained for compliance regulations in FINRA and SEC. They're not only working with financial services. So what we've done is taken all, it's the AI tool is trained to write in a way that we know is both compliant, but also in best practices for what you do. And I think that takes a lot of the anxiety out and is going to increase our goal is that, you might have to rewrite something 4 times, 5 times in chat. Hopefully with our tool, you're getting closer to that ideal end state right away. And the other thing to think about is sourcing is such a challenge in chat, and the other AI tools, like misquoting or using an old source or using a source that most compliance teams don't recognize. So we've taken all of that into consideration so you would never have data that isn't sourced or is incorrect, which that is a big relief. But let's do the compliance thing. Should we ask people if they have any?
yes, those were great ideas. So let's just check for compliance on what was already wrote. Oh, we forgot about our subject line here. So I'm going to go back and copy it and paste it in. And then we're going to hit check for compliance. And it
Nice
passed the
work.
first check, which is great. So, from both the advisor, your experience, as well as the home office experience, who's ever getting sent this was a really great that it's already just getting that initial pass out of the way. But anyone have any idea what something maybe I could put in there that we'll see if we can stump compliance? I've heard of everything from like money bag emojis to maybe political statements. Anyone have any ideas of something that they wonder if it wouldn't pick up on? Our
Oh,
firm,
peace of mind. Let's try
okay.
that. Guaranteed returns and
Would you like
buy
to talk
gold.
more or,
If you buy gold, you can have peace of mind and guaranteed returns.
okay.
See what it is.
You can have peace of mind and guarantees. Okay. Pop that in there. Let's check for compliance.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. Drum roll.
Oh,
Miss.
it hated the whole term.
Take that sentence out.
And then it will also give a little bit more info about why. But let's just see if we just take out the guaranteed.
Yeah, let's see if it picks up peace of mind. I don't know.
Okay.
I know that is definitely flagged by some compliance departments and not by others.
Oh, modify the statement to avoid implying buying gold is universally appropriate for all clients. All right,
Why don't you take out
Brian, Bitcoin one.
let's take out the gold. I'm curious to see whether it'll pick up on just the peace of mind.
Oh.
If you follow our advice, you will have peace of mind or something. Guessing that's promissory too. But anyway, we'll let that one go to one more time and then we'll go to anybody else's
I
questions.
saw Brian Matthews said something about Bitcoin.
Yeah, that
Okay,
one.
so it still didn't like that one. Let's try, I know it's unrelated to the article, but oops, I like that. Bitcoin has correlated returns to US equity markets. So that did not go through, Brian, is what you're saying.
Well,
So it,
he's challenging us. Yep.
ah, so maybe having any kind of mention of any alternate currencies.
I think like we know that some firms just don't even allow advisors to include anything about cryptocurrency. So I think what we've done is trained it at sort of the most strict
Yep.
policies that we see out there. And as that disclosure said, per your firm's policy. So this is routing to compliance, or if you're an REA and you're not routing it through a compliance team, then it's just, it's just telling you what you might want to look at, and you can choose whether or not to take that advice or not. So it won't prevent you from sending it out. It's really just checking and giving you feedback.
And what we should also say is, even if, let's say, you're able to say that in your team, it's telling you what it might be flagged or you should consider rewriting, but you're still able to go in and schedule it and send it off to your compliance team as it is. So this is just, again, picking up on the strictest level there. Adriana asked a good question. Do we need to say it was created by AI?
And
Your thoughts on that, Susan?
my thoughts are, I haven't heard that compliance departments have required that. But I can't speak to everybody's compliance, requirements. So that may be a policy at certain firms. Have you heard of that, Sam?
No, I haven't heard anyone say that. And I think part of the issue is these AI tools are so ubiquitous now. And, at this point, people are constantly using it to create a draft outline, to just add certain sources, different bits and pieces. So yeah, I have not heard that though.
Yeah, I don't
Definitely
know.
want to check.
I think that's why I think one of the benefits to using AI within the FMG platform versus just, in the wild for compliance teams is they can feel comfortable that we are not using any incorrect sources, that we
Yep.
know the compliance regulations inside and out. So I think I think this would be a solution for a firm that is concerned with that, but I haven't heard that as a blanket requirement.
Yeah.
There was
Actually,
a question about infographics and images, which I think I'll answer not yet. So you
correct.
can imagine where our Sam and my, product hat is going on this. I mean, the possibilities are just exponential. So this is phase one, but we absolutely would love to have it be able to create images, infographics, charts, you name it.
Yes. Well, I was going to say too, you are able, to talk to the AI about different formatting. So you can ask it to include a bullet list, things like that. And then you also, within the tool here, within any email, I know it's still not the same as saying, make me an image of this, but you can certainly upload within the builder here any of your,
Your own images.
things that you would like to include. So yes, we would love to get to a place where that is part of it. But somebody was also asking about, does your LLM use advisor data to train its model? And if so, is there a way to disable it? And that is a really good question.
I mean, by advisor data, I would say no, but if you are asking whether we've used the content that has been leveraged on our platform, the answer is yes. So we've looked at open rates of various emails and used those that have had the highest engagement to continue to fuel and train our tool. But I wouldn't call that data. I would just call that sort of engagement results of our content. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah. And I think that's a huge benefit, as we've talked about already, that, we know what is and isn't going to be approved by compliance. And we also know, just tone of voice style wise, what type of
Perfect.
writing sometimes you get. I don't know about any of you. I've sometimes asked ChatGPT or other tools to write me something, and it sounds way too teenagery in certain instances.
Or just
As
too much
time goes
like
on,
that.
yes, exactly. So this is definitely a more refined style.
Yes,
So
it will just keep getting better based on engagement results and our own, input.
yeah. And Karen just asked a great question. Gave a great idea. She said, for now, until we have that capability, just copy the email into an AI image builder and say, make me an image to go along with this email, which I love. But
And I
you're still
will
going to be
say,
able
like,
to.
I would love to hear from others, but I have yet to find any of the image creators that are just hitting it out of the park. Like, I use a lot of
They
them,
look very AI-ish.
AI-ish, or there's spelling errors, or, they just don't take the prompt in the right way. So is anybody having success creating images? And if so, on what platform?
I
Hope,
will say that the Google Gemini's VO3 release really wowed me. I did a LinkedIn
really?
post on it. If you want to go back and look, where I made a video of a news reporter, and that I was really impressed by. But you're right about the images for sure.
Cool. All right,
Okay.
we'll keep going.
So once get in your email, same thing, you're going to be able to select your audience if you have groups. So now when we start talking about hyper personalized content, you saw how fast that was. Let's say you want to take that same email, or you want to have an email about, something that's specific to people in California going through some sort of, wildfires. You create it, you come in here and you just click people who live in California. Maybe you want it to only be for people who are under 60, or people who have to take required minimum distributions. It now is just allowing for this hyper personalized content at scale, and then choosing those groups in here and then scheduling it out. So that is really where the power is you can even take, one of your pieces that you've already have and ask our tool to make different versions of it for you for those specific audiences, and then schedule it for those groups. And once you've got it scheduled, and I'm just going to say schedule for later this week, and then we'll hit send email. And now it says it's pending compliance approval. It will be ready to go and sent out, and it will be here in your email scheduled and sent library. So that is our Muse tool. Hopefully that really, really gives you a great flavor of that. I see some questions coming.
That last question is a good one. I'm pretty sure I know the answer. Sam, does Muse train individually over time based on an individual user's input and edits, or is it more community-based aggregate for FMG users?
I thought it was the former, but now I'm nervous to say that definitively.
I think let's owe you an answer, because I don't know that precisely. I know that for sure our vision is that it would be individual. We may not be there yet, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in the interest of time, we're going to move on to some more things, but why don't we take a quick poll? Because we do have so many people asking really great, intelligent questions about FMG's tool specifically. And let us know if you want to talk with our team and give you a personalized demo about our specific tool, these new AI tools. We can show them to you, go over all your specific questions, talk about how it would apply, what compliance looks like, all of that good stuff, and really delve more into it. We would love to do that, talk about what your current marketing tech stack looks like and how we can really help deliver a better experience. So can go ahead and answer that poll, and then we will reach out to everybody who says yes, please. Okay.
Awesome.
So those are the awesome big new features that we have here. I'm not going to go into it as much, but the same experience that you just saw for email is also available in our social post tool. So again, you're going to do all the same thing,
Cool.
except that you're going to see how long do you want the post to be. And also, because we know social media has a lot more emojis, we have this pick your emoji level slider, which I think is
Love
really
this.
fun.
I just love that.
Yeah. And
I could see, just a hypothesis, I could see the social part being used even more than the email side. I mean, I could see both, but obviously, an ideal social calendar is more frequent than an email calendar. And I feel like most people, almost everybody other than you, Sam, struggles with writing a great post.
And I think anytime we're trying to toot our own horn too, like celebrate
Yes.
that we've been in business for 10 years, or we've got some designation, that's don't you think, like, you
Yes,
want to
those are
tell
so
people,
hard.
yeah. Um let's just try it in business.
And while you're going, I'll answer the question. It is not approved through the Overwatch tool. That is to give you initial feedback. It still routes through compliance. And yes, we do Instagram and Facebook.
So I only have LinkedIn in my demo account, but all of your different social platforms would be here, and you can choose, which of those that you want. So, oops, did I choose let's really make the emoji level. No, I'm just, did I make it super, super high for just the sake of the demo? Okay, so it's gonna write our content, emoji, I love that, overload. And we can see here what it looks like. So again, same thing for social and email, and it even will include hashtags, things like that. So again, in the interest of time, we're just showing it quickly. If there's anything that you want me to show you further, though, I'm happy to do that, but it would be the same exact process where you copy it and then use Overwatch to check for compliance.
And question on whether we have this for creating videos, not yet, but certainly something Sam and I would love to do and are talking about doing.
Yes. One other thing we just want to point out, we do have a mobile app that also will help you write social posts. If you already have the FMG mobile app or you're considering, that is just a quick demo of what that looks like. So it is in our mobile app as well. But let's move on to this section because we've been getting a lot of questions about it, and we have some new tools that are also going to help you with this. So that first section was all about helping you write more tailored, specific content. For emails, social posts, and rolling out next week blogs. Now let's talk a little bit about, for the flip side, if you have prospects, which we all know because we're all starting to do this now, going to ChatGPT or even Google, right? And asking a question like, I'm looking for a financial advisor to help me with blah, blah, blah. How do you get to be the one that is recommended by these AI tools? 2/3 of Google searches now end without a click. So even when people are searching on Google, they're often not clicking, they're reading the AI summary at the top. So this is impacting all of us, all of our businesses. And we are starting to see big time a lot of advisors telling us they're getting leads from ChatGPT and other AI tools. So actually, I would love to know if everyone could tell us in the chat, have you yourself experienced this? Has somebody told you that they they asked one of these AI tools for help finding an advisor, and you came up? And
We've definitely been hearing more and more, we have internal Slack channels where people share things they've heard from advisors. And I'd say we've seen like maybe even 3 in the last week.
Oh, okay.
Advisors
That's
are like
amazing.
sharing like, that somebody found them. I think it was in the Do It For Me channel.
Okay.
Somebody referenced that the person had been, on their website, seen their blogs and was in chat and told them that
So
they
I
have them on chat.
I just did a marketing workshop on this, and there was 10 or 15 people, a small workshop, and everybody in the room said no, and then one person said yes, and the person who said yes did all of the things that I'm about to show you. So
Proof is
this
there.
really does work. And so this is just an example of, you can always ask to the client if they remember specifically what prompt that they got. And what you'll find is a lot of times they are a lot more specific. So here is, if you want ChatGPT or other AI tools to recommend your business, there's 3 things you need to do just to really simplify it. So let's go through what those 3 are. And then we'll do it at a high level and then really dig in to each. So the first one is getting reviews. So that looks like social proof, different sentiment signals. We're going to talk about that. The second thing is building your reputation so that these different AI tools see you as an authority and expert in specific subject areas. And then the last is how you format the content on your blog, your website, your social posts for discoverability. There's something called schema markup, which is a very technical sounding thing, but we've just are rolling out a brand new feature here at FMG that makes it incredibly easy for you, which we're going to show you. And you don't need to be a tech person at all to take advantage of this. And then how you format your content related to FAQ pages, writing them as question and answers. So we're going to dive into these 3 areas. So the first one is getting reviews. And I know there's still a lot of people who are going to raise their hand and say, Sam and Susan, I'm still not allowed to solicit
Mhm.
reviews. And we understand. But if you were to go and ask, hey, ChatGPT, how do you decide what financial advisor to show? These are some of the things that they're going to tell you, that these learning language models are trained to rely heavily on social credibility, which I love. They actually want to hear, what are other humans saying about this business, right? And they actually really look at the content within reviews. So it's not just Google reviews, it could be Trustpilot, it could be Wealth Tender or other advisor specific platforms. Even things like forums like Reddit or somebody on a Facebook community post, right? Anytime someone references your business and then gives very specific info about how they used it or what you helped them with. So instead of just I loved working with Susan at Russell Financial. It would, if somebody said something like, Susan really helped me as a small business owner come up with a succession plan for selling my business and what the tax liability was going to be. And I love that because here in Minneapolis, so those keywords, Minneapolis, succession plan, business owner, are all going to be taken into account by the AI tool. And you will be a lot more likely to be shown if someone's asking for an advisor that helps with those things.
Did you see in the comments, there is an advisor on the phone on the call that said they got a lead. Someone had typed in best Vietnamese financial planner in the Bay Area.
I love that. Awesome. So that's the first one. Let's move on to the second one. And this is something we can 100% help you with, which is building your reputation. So think of it like this. The goal is to be the most obvious answer to a question like, who's a good retirement advisor near me? I'm struggling with this problem. Who can help me with X, right? So the more specific you can be in your location, you saw that last prompt on the screen was give me a list of Black financial planners in Philadelphia, right? Tan just said Vietnamese. So specific keywords that you want to rank for, or if there's specific problems you help solve. You have a CPA on staff, so you can really integrate tax planning and guidance into the process. Whatever it is, the more specific you can be, the better. And one of the things that really works on that is writing long form content demonstrating that niche knowledge. So when you think about FMG's content library, you can come in here, you can search something specific like business owners or tax strategy, choose any of the pieces, and then use our AI tools to help you make them even more specific for your niche. So when we talk about hyper specific content at scale, I mean, this is just taking it up a notch. I shouldn't say one notch, times 1,000.
Yeah, and maybe it's so much easier. And there's a question I think is a good one. Like, how do you tell a client to be specific in a Google review? And I'll be honest, like, and debate me, Sam. I'm not sure you really can steer a client on what they say. And I think it's this category where I think you can have where you can get specific. Like the Google reviews are going to be showing credibility, social proof that you're well liked, empathetic, gave great service. This is where the engines are getting that specificity around your expertise. So I think it's unrealistic to expect your
And it
reviewers
might
to
be
have all that.
non-compliant.
Yeah, exactly. So think of this, which is controllable, which is so much better. I like things that we can control. This is where you can put in all those specifics that you want to show up is in your content and on your website.
Yeah. So again, you can come in here, you can choose any piece and then turn that into what you need. And also getting on podcasts, being interviewed by local news sources, it can be hard how do I get on the news? But if you have a friend that has a podcast and they can invite you on to talk about something you're really good at, or that's your area of expertise, these AI tools will see that as expertise and authority as well. If you're interested in getting help with podcasts and video scripts through our Do It For Me program, we also provide those as well. So we can really help you with the content and the thought leadership, the reputation side of the AI strategy.
Absolutely. And it's also, I think it's about showing up in multiple channels, not just on social and not just having a blog, but the more you're doing across, the more content you're creating and distributing across multiple channels, the more likely it is that AI will find you and find that content. So that's another, I think, value that FMG helps, because it is daunting, even with AI, to create content for, 5, 6 different channels.
100%. And Christina said, do they look at YouTube content at all? Yes.
Yes.
I've heard, and I have heard, again, it's not just about you having a YouTube channel. You can, if you know someone who has actually a very well regarded, a lot of followers, a big channel, it's probably actually better for you to go on as a guest of their channel than to, always be thinking about starting your own YouTube channel. You can get a lot of bang for your buck just by being an expert guest on someone else's. But let's talk about content formatting. And this is something we've really changed in the way we do things here at FMG just in the last year, right? So there are a few different factors. The first one is something called schema markup. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this because it is a little technical and I don't want to lose anybody, but basically, let me show you an image. So if you have schema markup, what it is in the back end, there's code that is injected into the website that tells the search engine or the AI tool what that content is all about. So on this FAQ page, we've added schema markup. So you can see here, it's saying this is the question and this is the answer. This is the question and this is the answer. And we've all had that experience where we ask an AI tool or we ask Google a question, and up at the top, it gives you a quick little what we call a snippet. That is where they pull those snippets from, is a site that has schema markup that tells it, this is the question, this is the answer. So what we are so excited about is we just released this, or I'm sorry, it's being released at the end of the month, right, Susan?
Yeah, I think, yes, it'll be, I think, live in August.
So now what you'll be able to do is come in and add an FAQ section. So under the website section, you'll just go to widgets, you'll add an FAQ section, and automatically the schema markup will be on the back end of that section. So you could conceivably add an FAQ section to every page of your website if you wanted, right? Or maybe you have an FAQ section at the bottom of investments, at the bottom of financial planning, at the bottom of a blog that you write. And now that schema markup is being applied. So what kinds of questions are people going to have about how to choose a financial advisor? What kinds of questions are people going to have about when's the best time to take Social Security? You put the question, you put the answer, and now in the back end, it's going to very explicitly tell the AI tool that this is what this page is about. So you
And I
don't have to
think
do anything. All you have to do is add the widget, and we will take care of the code in the back end.
I think what's so, we've heard, questions ad infinitum about SEO and like, how do you master SEO? I feel like this is such a great opportunity. People have not mastered AEO, answer engine optimization, and this is a huge piece. The content development is huge, and then this is huge. And I feel like anybody who's got an FMG website that can add the an FAQ page, and as you said, to as many pages as possible, like will be a first mover advantage for sure. And I just think that's exciting.
100%.
So somebody's asking, can you add it to your existing WordPress site? Unfortunately, we have built this just to work within the FMG websites, but if you have a WordPress site, we would still recommend you should build an FAQ section for sure as a best practice. And maybe you can get somebody to help you with the schema markup. We just wanted to make it super easy for FMG customers to just be able to write the FAQs and know that the schema markup's happening in the back end.
Yes, schema markup is important for all websites, no matter where it is. So if you have a WordPress site, definitely think about that. Or if you're interested in moving over to FMG, then you won't have to worry about it because we'll just do it in the back end. So the other thing is formatting the content. So we talked a little bit about FAQs, anything that can make it easier to scan. So bullet points, question and answers. If you think about how do you interact with AI, I don't know about you, Susan, I asked ChatGPT a question or talk to it in long paragraphs with very specific information, not just like, hey, tell me the best burger restaurant in London, right?
Well, and
So
actually in the chat, that's what everybody has been saying that they do. I just give it as much, I give it, more information than it needs. The more the better.
yes. So you want to format any of your content in this question and answer format. You want to include things like bullet points, again, which we make all of this really, really easy to do in our platform, and we can show you how to do it if anyone wants to see a specific section. But, adding bullet points, adding things as a question where you then give the answer, because we ask questions of these AI tools, we don't make statements.
Yeah.
So that's really important. Also, writing in a conversational style, because we talk to these tools. And we talk to it very differently than we used to search on Google.
Yes. And I think, we develop content for the platform, and it's not like every single piece of content you write and or leverage on the F&G platform is going to start with a question. It's not quite that literal. It's just thinking about, there should be some that do actually start with a question, but there are ways to weave questions in within the body of the text too, because you don't want you don't want everything to look the same. So it's a mindset. It's not quite a literal, switch everything you write now to start with a question.
Very good point. Yeah. So you might have a blog post about like the 10 things to think about,
Yes.
if you're buying a second home, but then maybe those 10 things are posed as questions, right?
Yep.
So
You can, the
how will this affect
headline
my
could be,
taxes?
yes.
Exactly. Exactly. Good point. So another thing that it's interesting. For a while, we were all really focused on local listings. And then with SEO, other things became more important. And now with AEO and answer engine optimization, this is becoming important again. So there are something called local listings, right? Where you can be listed across all different pages and websites. And these AI tools, when they're going to recommend a business, they want to make sure that the Lighthouse Financial over here that has great reviews on Google is the same Lighthouse Financial over here on Facebook, and not the same Lighthouse Financial that somebody wrote terrible things in this Reddit post about. So how do they do that? One way is through very, very clear and concise local listings. Managing that can be really difficult. You want to make sure that the way your name is written, the way your if you spell out suite, SUITE on your website, then it shouldn't just be STE period on your local listings. So we actually have a tool that will allow you to manage this really, really easily. But you obviously, when you're setting up your LinkedIn page, when you're setting up your social profiles and it asks you for your address, a tip is make sure it's exactly the same. If it's Russell Wealth LLC on your website, then it should be Russell Wealth LLC on your Google My Business page, on your LinkedIn page, on your Facebook page. So you want to be consistent across all those platforms. And Aubrey just sent a link to that article if you want to learn more about that. And if you have a lot of listings, we make it really easy to have multiple locations on one page of your website. Again, to be really accurate for these AI tools. So we'll put a link to that as well. But that can be a little confusing and hard as well. If you have an office in California and Texas, how do you ensure that they're all the same? You don't get, people confused or make it hard for AI. So we have a multiple locations feature as well that will help with that.
And that could be a great, for everybody on the webinar, just to audit, everywhere where your company name is showing up, making sure that it's written the same way. I mean, that's just a quick hit that'll help improve your results.
Yes, absolutely. So I was going to go back in the platform and show a few more things that we talked about in case anybody wants to see specifically where they are. But we do have a landing page with a quick video overview from yours truly going through some of these AI tools. But honestly, you guys got a lot more information than what's in that video. But if you just scan this QR code, you will get set up with someone from our team, and we can really dive into all of the specific questions for your marketing and how you're using things. But let's go back here into the platform. And Susan, let's answer some of these more specific questions while I show a couple things that we were talking about.
Sure. The last one I'm saying is, getting more information on the FAQ page and how it works. And I think the best thing is just to make an appointment with our team, and they can demo it and talk you through all of the different, all the ways it works and show you. I think that's probably the best thing, but we can also, it will be also in the AI guide that we are sending out. So we will reference it there. Let's see,
I
replay.
was
Yeah.
just going to show you where it would be. So it's
Okay,
not
good.
live yet, but if you come to your website tool under home, you'll have, or I'm sorry, not just under home, but under all of the pages, you'll have in the visual editor, you can, click to add a section anywhere. And then under the widgets here, it will be here under FAQ. So you'll see a section that will say FAQ, and you can add that section in, and then you can make those, questions and answers anything you want. And you can add this widget to any part of your website. So that's where it will be.
I love that. That is very cool.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. Did you see other questions that we didn't answer? I feel like I have gotten most of them. If I've missed your question, add it to the end so that it is right in
Saw
my.
somebody put, how do we get our broker dealer to adopt your platform instead of Yext? That's a great
Oh,
question. We love that. And we'd be happy to work with you. So, certainly connect with us and we can talk through what that looks like.
I'd say
This,
for that one, just, send our email. You could reach both Sam and I at marketing@fmgsuite.com, marketing@fmgsuite.com. So if you have any specific questions for Sam and I, please just, shoot an email. We'll definitely get right back to you.
yes. So hopefully this was helpful and it gave you some good ideas on how you can start prompting better for AI, and also hopefully makes you want to check out what we've built here at FMG. We are so excited about these features, and we really, really know that for the advisors using them, they really are going to be able to create hyper-personalized content and be found by more prospects once they take care of these different aspects. So if you have any other questions, please reach out. We hope you all learned at least one or two things today, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you,
Thank you
Susan.
so much. Thanks, Sam, for leading us. It was
Yes,
great as
absolutely.
always.